Mr. Nicklaus, on behalf of Quivira, it's an honor to have the Golden Bear back in Los Cabos, and especially here at Quivira. With now over 380 of your courses in play in over 36 countries, both your experience and unparalleled master's touch, your work has had a profound impact on the industry and certainly Los Cabos in general. We're excited to have you home, sir.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Eric.
Just a few questions concerning the course, if I may.
Sure.
You surveyed the course once again earlier today. Our timeline for the first 9 holes to be completed was targeted for the end of October, the second 9 for the full 18 by the end of January. Based on your review today and in light of recent rains, is the course still on track to meet those deadlines?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're sitting here on the 18th green. You can see that it's got grass on it, and it's been down. It hasn't been down a long time. Maybe I would guess 3 to 4 weeks it's been down. And we've got 5 holes grassed here. The 18th is grassed, 17, 16, 15, and 14. We are working on the other side in the dunes and along the ocean. We will probably get, I'm not sure how much more we'll get grassed. We won't get any more this week, but within the next month, we'll probably end up getting probably close to 9 holes, and then finish it up by probably the end of the year or the start of the next year. So you'll have a full golf course in play here. Should be late spring next year.
Okay. Number 2, at a time when real estate on the water has become so valuable in Los Cabos, few developers are conceding a lot of holes on the waterfront. Were you surprised Mr. Copel conceded to a surprising 6 as well as a driving range on the water? And how much do you believe that decision enhanced the overall experience this course will offer players once it's complete?
Well, if you look at a project, I mean, there's quite a few projects in the Cabo area and around the world. How many of them have oceanfront golf? And when you're competing for the in the market, particularly the foreign market, and somebody says, well, I want to go down to Cabo. Well, do I want to play that course that's inland, or do I want to go play a golf course on the ocean? I said, why would I want to play the same thing I've got at home? Why don't I go, if I want to go someplace on a vacation, I want to play something spectacular. This golf course is spectacular. It is, we're sitting here on the 18th green, which is backed by the ocean. The first tee is sitting backed by the ocean, hitting away from the ocean. The second hole is a very unusual par 4. We found a little green site that sticks out on a ledge, and we got some tees along the side of the cliff, and we basically play up and down, or you can try to drive the green. It's a very exciting little hole. I mean, it's something you conventionally wouldn't do, but I think people are going to love it because of the uniqueness of it. It's something you certainly are not going to do off the ocean. And then we have a beautiful third hole, is a beautiful par 3 on the ocean. It sits down below the cliff. I found a low ledge that has this beautiful little sand valley down there, and it's a spectacular par 3. Then we come back up off of the ocean for 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But they're in the dunes viewing the ocean every hole.
Nice. And
then the 9th hole is a spectacular par 5 that drops. You're standing way up on top of this dune, and the hole is it's 600 yards from the back tee, but it won't play like that simply because you're probably got you must have a 150 foot or 200 foot elevation change. It goes down to the ocean, and then we've got a spectacular little par 3 with tees along the edge of the cliff, playing into a rock outcropping that comes out into the ocean, and the green sits right in the middle of these rock outcroppings on the ocean. Then we go to then we're off the ocean until we get back here to 18. We obviously have to stabilize the dunes because every time we come back, the dunes are changed.
They are alive, aren't they?
Oh, they're alive, absolutely. But that's the thing, is that we want to get them where we want them. Then we make sure we establish them, make sure that they stay where they're supposed to stay, and the golf course has inland, it's got desert, it's got ocean, it's got rocks, it's got a little bit of everything, which and it's not a hard golf course. We've made the golf course very user-friendly.
That's great to hear.
It's actually, It'll look like it's difficult because where it is, but I think you're going to find the golf course play very user-friendly.
That's wonderful to hear. You were quoted on your website as saying that Quivira's canvas of unique and diverse topography that incorporates desert, dunes, and sea will allow your team to design and build, quote unquote, some of the more spectacular holes you will find in or outside of Mexico. This far along, it sounds like you believe that goal has been met.
Well, we've got all the holes in. They're here. And the only holes that we didn't look at today were 2 and 3 because we just haven't gotten down into that position to do that. But the tees are built at 2, and but 3 we just haven't tackled it yet. But it's there. We've started to tackle 10, which is another par 3 that's on the ocean. But it's got so many spectacular shots, and they won't be difficult for the average golfer because they're not long. So we haven't made any of them long. We've made them all where they're very easy access, and I think even holes that the women will love playing.
That's great to hear, as we're a very family-oriented property. There's been a lot of talk about the cart path and its dramatic height from the base of the mountain to the
Yes,
present.
it is.
2 cliff holes in front of the historic lighthouse, approximately 115 meters from top to bottom. It's said to provide breathtaking views of Land's End where these 2 oceans meet. Have you had the opportunity to journey any of the trail yet? And what is your opinion of it at this point?
Well, I've journeyed it before it was a cart path.
I don't know how you did that.
Well, we did. We got through it, and now I've actually, yesterday and today are the first times I've been on the actual path, which is spectacular. It's got little ledges along it for safety's reasons because it is sitting on the side of a cliff, and we played the first hole, which is down here by the ocean and low, and then we traverse the mountain. A very unusual thing on a golf course, something you normally wouldn't do, but I think that people will not mind that because it's so spectacular. The views you look at, you're looking at the whales, you're looking at the fishermen, you're looking at the beaches, the vistas. It's something and we got a few spots on the trail that you can pull off to the side if you want to take a picture or sit down and have a lunch or something. But I don't think you have too many lunches after the first hole. But anyway, you can do that, and then we go on to the second and the third, which are just as spectacular.
Well, I'm glad to hear it's living up to your opinions, sir. Well, it's common knowledge that you've accepted the offer to not just build and design this course, but the second one as well. It was mentioned at one time that you also considered entering into a joint agreement to develop the prestigious Golden Bear brand of homes here on an exclusive segment of the course. Can you comment on that?
Well, it's part of our plan. I mean, we're not there yet. Obviously, when we started this project several years ago and the economy sort of shut things down, we weren't, we've had to adjust what we've doing and making sure that we get the golf course in, and it took a few years to get that done. The economy's been tough, and now that the golf course is going in, and I think the plans with everybody here at Quivira is the same as it was before. We're planning on, and our plans are the same. Our commitment is to this project. I have a lot out here on the 10th tee and the 9th green, and I got a pretty spectacular view myself right out there. So,
well, might we be seeing a little more of you?
So you might be seeing a little bit more of me.
Well, that's great news. That's great news for Los Cabos as well. Just a few other questions that were submitted by other people. What can you tell us about the practice facilities designed on this course being built?
Well, they're on the ocean. I don't think you're going to have many practice facilities on the ocean, and whether and I think that really depends on the timing and what happens with a project. But that practice range is going to be there for a few years, and I think the people first come here, it's going to be wow, and they're going to look at that and they're going to say, boy, this is some place. I think obviously when we build a second golf course and we move the clubhouse actually up to the location that'll service both golf courses, we will have a driving range up there. And how much this will be kept, that will be an issue that we'll worry about down the line. Okay. And you can edit all that out as much as you want.
No, that's quite all right, Jack. No, and I appreciate your honesty. And owners deserve to know that going into
Sure.
it. What have you done to design the course taking into account the wind here on the Pacific side?
Well, the wind can be strong, and we've got a pretty nice day today. We've probably got a 10 or 15 mile an hour wind. That's pretty much typical this time of year. There's times of years when it does get strong. So what we've done is, I've tried not to make. We have quite a few tee locations on every hole, so that whoever is setting up the golf course in the morning, needs to know what the wind's going to be, and the opportunity to lengthen some holes where you're playing way downwind. We've given you that opportunity, or the opportunity to shorten a lot of holes when the wind's going the other direction, or with the wind's in the holes in your face. And so I don't think you're going to find this to be a long playing golf course. I think we've tried to accommodate the wind the best we can, and we think we've done a pretty good job of it.
That's good to hear. And you've talked about the user friendliness of the average player. From the black tees, how do you think the pros will find it?
Well, I think that the pros will have a good challenge. I don't think it's anything, but I don't even think it's going to. We didn't try to make it a back-breaking golf course. We're trying to make the golf course so that it's very playable. I mean, if you look at, you say you were worrying about the pros, there's 1.8% on a worldwide average that the people play the back tees. So 98.2% of your play is played forward. That's what you're designing the golf course for. But I want to tell you, there'll be a lot of players that are really good players that will come down here and say, I want to play the back tees, and they'll find a spectacular golf course to play.
Well, that's great. And you are largely credited for establishing Los Cabos as its nickname, the Palm Springs of Mexico, with your first work here. I personally live on your Cabo del Sol course and enjoy it immensely. I know it's an unfair question. They've all got to be like children to you as you launch each one and put so much of your heart into it, as we've seen here on your multiple visits against the other courses.
Well, it'll stack up very well. I mean, somebody, it's like asking you, who's your favorite child?
Yeah, that's what
I've got 380 favorite children, and so I can't really do that. But this golf course won't take a back seat to anybody. And we were talking about the holes on par threes on the ocean, and if you're at Cabo del Sol, you've seen what is it, little 16th hole, 17th hole.
Yeah, called 17th. One of your best finishing holes in.
Well, we have two of them out here that will be equally as spectacular. Two par threes.
Oh,
and so and you know how much fun that hole is, and it isn't long, and we have two of them here that'll be well within that range and be very playable and fun.
So 2 times the fun would be a legitimate quote at this point.
Twice the fun for half the price. How's that?
It's no secret that the course was planned to have been completed some time ago. The Great Recession in the U.S. freezing funding for a lot of developers here in Los Cabos. We're fully funded now. And of course, everybody's excited about the rapid completion in which you're moving at. That said, what would you tell our owners who have waited so long for this golf course? Well,
I think that they have waited, but the whole world has waited for a lot of things. And I think that when they get out here, they're going to say, I'd like to have had it a little earlier, but it was worth the wait.